Questions? Oh, right
Along the lines of the Comic-Con and the fans, can you tell us an interesting story about a fan reaction? Somebody come up to you on the street, airport, anywhere?
They're all interesting in their own way. And I mean that in a very positive way. Oh, God, is there anything really weird that's happened? The weirdest, okay, this one happened. I was walking in L.A., and I was walking across the street. I do a lot of walking in L.A. because I lived in New York, and I'm a freak. And I was walking across the street, and I'm major intersection, Fairfax and Melrose. If you don't know it, it's okay, it's major. And I'm walking across, suddenly there's a honk, 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 and I'm like, oh. And I look back frightened or whatever. On some blog, I told some people about it, and on some blog sometime later, this woman had, I don't know if it was on a Facebook page that I don't run or what, but this woman said, I just want to apologize. I tried to say I love your show. I was in a red car, I honked at you at Fairfax and Melrose. I scared you to death, and I'm really sorry. So that's the weirdest one. That's like, and that's like one of those just missed people that happens on Craigslist almost, you know? The fact that she actually got the message to me. If you're here, stand up. No, that was weird. And it scared the crap out of me. It made me very angry. She was like, who honks at somebody? I could have been run over, you know? But, or at least thrown my neck out.
there?
Right here?
Yeah.
You have to keep leading this.
I'm just going from side to side.
You're doing great. I just wanted to tell you I'm not going to take charge.
At first, I'd like to say you're a comic genius.
Oh.
You are a comic genius.
My mother.
You can't memorize those lines and deliver them like that and not be a comic genius. I'd like to ask you, who were your idols growing up, or if you had to meet someone today in your business or work with them, who would it be? That you would be in awe of.
Yeah. You'd think I'd be better at this because it's not the first time it's been asked of me, but it's really hard for some reason. I grew up watching so many sitcoms. You know, they were rerun when that was my first interest, you know. And the reason I say that is because in some ways, many sitcoms in general are my idol. Very specifically, two people that come up. One I still remember the feeling of, and one I'm confused by. Although I still get it, and that sounds bad. I'll just say it. I was obsessed with Mork from Mork and Mindy. This is a slightly confusing one for me. Like, I had like a full-on birthday party with suspenders, everything. And I love Robin Williams. I don't know what the hell was so appealing about Mork and Mindy. But I really took to it. So in a weird subconscious way, I know that Robin Williams from back then is somewhere in there. The other one that I can just remember how I felt exactly was watching reruns of Three's Company with John Ritter. You know, I didn't even look at that and think that's what I want to do or whatever. It was just an innate understanding of what was going on there. I totally got, on some level, in my young age, what was happening there. And the other one I always think of, and because I still love it, is I was I think, too young to be so taken with the Mary Tyler Moore Show reruns. And I still am, but now what I got back then that, you know, I don't think I was precocious, but there was something I was identifying with, the structure to that show and the depth of emotion in a scene in the middle of all that comedy, you know. It's rare that a show's able to do that, but there was something about the rhythm of that. There was something about the whatever that's just, you know, I don't know. It
stayed with you.
It stayed with me, and it informed me, and it doesn't die. You know what I mean? That doesn't change the essential human rhythm of conversation relating to each other that funny comes out of. That just highlighted that. As far as who to work with, the one I always say is Betty White, but Mary Tyler Moore, and she'd be a great Meemaw on the show. if you see her, tell her. But you can't get her lately because she's on everything.
Right. Well, that means that she's right around the corner. She'll be right around the corner.
Yeah, apparently
for
she's easy
SNL.
right now. You're right. I have pitched from day one somebody who I think, whose humor I really get and always understood from Friends was, I want Lisa Kudrow to play some relation to Penny in some way. I think it's such an easy fit. Warner Brothers did Friends. I've talked to the head of Warner Brothers Television. Wouldn't Lisa Kudrow be great? She is a great gal. Yeah, nobody's ever listening to me. She's not there. Or maybe they've tried and I don't know. And then I don't know, that's just the TV realm of things. So I hope that's sort of a satisfying answer, in a way. Hi. I didn't see y'all earlier.
Right there.
I was wondering what the best and worst part of your job is.
The best and worst part? I'll try and think of the worst first, because it's not really... There's really nothing terribly unpleasant about it. The worst part of my job is, and it's a good part, because it's a wonderful, obviously I enjoy this, or I wouldn't have picked this type of life, but is the amount of things that I do, including an event like tonight, where I don't know what the hell's going to happen. And so, and it's like that every time we tape a show, and it's like that every time I go on a talk show, and it's like that almost everything I do is I always think, well, if they canceled it, that'd be okay too. And I mean that for every taping we do. I'm like, on Tuesday night, I'm like, if the lights went out and we had to postpone, that'd be fine. Because there is this anxiety that, this is the worst part, there's this anxiety that rides around. And I'm trying to come to terms with it, because the frightening thing is that may be my life force. So the thing that keeps me going may be the thing that gives me gas. The best part is really hard to name, because, even the worst part has its charms, not gas. But the best, but it's all good. And I don't know. The only thing I'll throw out, and part of it is because well, this is a perfect relation to it. And if you have heard me talk about this, I'm sorry, because I'm doing Martha Stewart on Thursday, and I'm doing it with my mother, because it's the Mother's Day special. And I'm glad you think it's sweet, and I hope it turns out really sweet. I'm a little scared. That I recently did a segment on Sesame Street, and I got to bring my nephew to it with me, who's 4 years old, and he got to meet Elmo and Abby Cadabby. And it's that part that's so incidental. It's such a side way it has nothing to do with the meat of it. I guess it's perks. And I don't think of them. They just kind of pop up and they're there. And like with my nephew, the joy, of bringing him there, it makes me very emotional. Anyway, so that's one of the best parts. Oh, please.
Hi. This is
Hello.
actually a question from way up here.
Yes, I see
This
you.
is actually a question from someone listening to the live tweets in the Netherlands for you.
Really?
Really?
Right now?
Right now.
Oh, this is freaky.
And his Twitter name is Nerdy Genius.
Oh, really?
And he would like to know, they haven't explored the friendship of Sheldon Raj lately. What's your opinion on that? Do you think their friendship should be explored again?
Well, yes. First and foremost, because one of the things that we have going for us that I think any show with writers concerned about their characters have going for us is that they develop them to such a degree, and you get more and more depth, that it becomes a situation of there's not an unfun pairing to be had. You know what I mean? So for that reason alone, I think you can't go wrong. You can only explore a different area. Sheldon and Raj are very... what am I answering again? I mean, like, am I pitching ideas for what I think they should do? I don't know. They did some work together, and, yeah, that didn't go well. but it was fun, you know. I'm trying to separate from Raj and Kunal because Kunal is such a wonderful